everybody, welcome to Sal's Comic Roundup. I'm here to talk about 3 titles, and one of them is from Comixology.com's Comixology Submit program, which I'm really excited about because not only are there some amazing creators and some really awesome independent, unsigned, unknown works, but you may find 1 or 2 of mine in there at some point in the near future. And that's not, by the way, speculation. That is an eventuality. I'm very excited about it. And you'll, of course, expect to see some kind of self-promotion, some kind of whoring from me in the near future about that. So I won't waste any more of your time. Let's talk about this new book from Comixology Submit. The first title I want to talk about, which is from Comixology Submit, you can pick up right now at any point, is called The Legend of Oz, The Wicked West, with writing by Tom Hutchinson and Allison Borges doing art. It is basically just a spin on the classic Wizard of Oz tale, but with a Western spin. This one jumped out at me just because it was a cool Western idea. It was just, and it was literally the image of the cover of Dorothy, looks like from the movie, with a kick-ass cowboy hat on, implying rootin' tootin' six-gun shooting adventures, and boy did that deliver, because let me tell you, this book, if this issue is any indicator, is a lot of freaking fun. It has some great liberties that it takes with some of the classic characters, and I'm really glad it did that. I was really worried we were going to see like a steampunk Tin Man kind of thing, and we don't see any of those things. It's actually really cool, the interpretations and liberties that Tom Hutchinson, of course, takes. I love, my favorite, of course, has to be probably the Toto change. I'm not giving you away too many spoilers here because I want you to pick it up. I want you to read it. Allison Borges does an amazing job of bringing this world, these characters, this idea to life, and it's just a really great, fun, ridiculous romp, and I think you should definitely check it out. I'll give it a 4 out of 5 because I can't wait to see what's coming next, but yeah, so definitely pick it up. Go to your Comixology Submit. Find any number of titles that are a lot like this one, The Legend of Oz, The Wicked West. The next comic I want to talk about is Volume 1 of The Unwritten by Mike Carey and Peter Gross. This book, which I have in my hand, is basically like a Harry Potter meets Percy Jackson plus like a C.S. Lewis sensibility with some Hardy Boys mixed in. It's like this really fun idea of this cultural phenomenon of a literary work that features 2 prominent characters and how they, of course, come to life and come into our world. And I kind of got an idea of what to expect based solely on the imprint. Vertigo seems to like to publish this kind of transcendental work about fiction, and it's totally worth checking out. And the art, Peter Gross does some amazing art here by demonstrating a lot of character work. The characters themselves do a lot of interaction. There's a little bit of action that is sprinkled throughout, but it doesn't get too heavy at any point, and the artist does a great job of just allowing the characters to interact and talk and give exposition or character moments, and you don't lose your interest, because of course it's a visual medium and you want to see characters interact, but you also want to see them doing ridiculous or cool or at least relevantly interesting things physically, and the artist facilitates that very nicely. Of course, the writing is really clever, it's really interesting, and it does a really great job of capturing this kind of world of the creative in today's climate. It's not necessarily quite up to date, but it's within the last 5 to 10 years of technology being what it is and fandom being what it is, and the life of an artist, so to speak. Definitely check out The Unwritten. I'm gonna go check out Volume 2 myself, so I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5 as well. I really dig this book. I think you will as well, so check it out. The third and final title I want to talk about today is from the Marvel Now imprint. It is Thunderbolts by Daniel Way and Steve Dillon. This was a really great idea. It took the most antisocial and most violent characters of the Marvel Universe, put them in a room and said, okay, they're going to solve the like black file, seedy areas of the Marvel Universe and kind of put out those fires. It is such a great book that skirts the line between really violent and this should probably be a Max imprint title. And by Max imprint, I mean that Marvel did for a little while, and I think they're still kind of doing it now, but nowhere near the level of like 5-10 years ago. But they took a title, Marvel Max, and they put all their like R to NC-17 rated titles and put them in there, so that the artists and the writers could really go wild with it and not have to worry about censorship too much. The Thunderbolts kind of proves that you don't really necessarily even need a Marvel Max imprint at this point. You really just need to rate the damn book and just say, hey, This one's rated, you know, R or NC-17 or whatever you want to call it. Kids shouldn't read it. And it's demonstrated especially adeptly by having the inclusion of the Punisher, Deadpool, Elektra. For the most part, I feel like Daniel Way is kind of allowed to stretch his legs in this title, and I hope he continues to do so for the near future, or at least the foreseeable future, because it's a killer book. No pun intended. Definitely check it out. I give it 4 out of 5. If you're going to use Steve Dillon on this title, get Garth Ennis to do at least a story arc for this. I would love to see his take on these insane characters doing really underground shit. It's really cool. It's really fun. 4 out of 5. All 4 out of 5s. Hey, look at that. I've read some books, and some of them are well received, and I happen to like them as well. So, meh. But anyway, I want to thank you all for watching. Of course, like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and of course, give us your opinions. Maybe you want to recommend some books for me to read. If anybody's from the Comixology Submit program who want to like share their books or get their word out, I would love to promote your work. So please shoot me an email, or at least tweet me at Sal Says What, or drop a comment down below, and we will talk to you there. And of course, as always, drop by littlehouseentertainment.com. I'm Sal, and I want to thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time on Sal's Comic Roundup.